Welcome back. Right now we are going to focus on many great things, specifically a film that is premiering tonight on Paramount Plus. It's called Love, Tom, and it goes behind the entire process of writing songs. In fact, I spoke with singer-songwriter Tom Douglas, as well as the director of this great film, where we talk about what it's like to film a documentary of this creative process, also mental health aspects and more. Let's take a look. Right now, we are going to take the journey into the creative struggle behind some of the greatest songs ever written. Paramount Plus's Love, Tom is coming out soon. And today we have the opportunity to speak to award-winning country singer-songwriter Tom Douglas, as well as award-winning nominated film director Michael Lennox. Thank you so much, Tom and Michael, for being here.
Delighted to be with you.
So, Tom, let's start with you. Tell me more about this project and what made you want to show the creative struggle to begin with.
Well, I was honored to be inducted into the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2014, and I gave a 12-minute acceptance speech. The device that I used in my speech was a letter to a discouraged young songwriter who wanted to quit. And so my acceptance speech was just peeling back the layers and pulling the veil back on the difficulty of the creative process and validating that struggle. And I ended up with, the songs that you write are going to be meaningful to me. So, write the next song. And then over the next few years, I developed that acceptance speech into a one-man performance. That was about an hour. And I did that 100 times in and around Nashville and kind of all over the country. Fortunately for me, the brilliant Michael Lennox happened to be in Nashville and saw my one-man performance and said, "Michael, take it from there."
Yes, no, I was introduced to Tom by mutual friends and family, and I went to see this show and had a profound impact. It had a profound impact on me. I'm not a songwriter or a musician. I'm a filmmaker from Belfast, but there was something about the creative struggle which I resonated with. And naturally, selfishly, as a filmmaker, I thought I could do something with this. I could make a film. So came up with this crazy idea of a walking love letter to Nashville, where Tom would journey across the sites and play his music in some of the random places, but places which are familiar to Tom. And sort of Tom backed this crazy idea. And here we are, we've made this film and it premieres on Thursday.
And Tom, as you mentioned, it's a film that goes behind the process of how you create these incredible songs, how they're written. But I think what might surprise many people is it's also a film about anxiety, addiction, underdogs, underachievers, true believers, something that so many people can relate to. But I'm really interested in how it is about mental health and it's about real life things that happen. Tell me more about that.
Well, part of the film talks about my relationship with my father, who was an amazing man, but struggled with some issues. He got hooked on pills at one point of his life, and he recovered for long periods and then would relapse in later periods. So the film really delves into the father-son relationship, addiction, mental health, just the general difficulty of life. And I think as a creative person, I was trying to compartmentalize all that pain and shame of my past and just the chaos around me. And then one day I really had a spiritual epiphany. It was like God said, your pain, your story is really, it's a gift. It's not poison. Take your past, take your story and write about it. And that's really what I've kind of written the same song 2,700 times. It's just about brokenness, healing, and redemption.
Michael, how do you approach directing a film like this? And what are some of the challenges in creating a film where you want to bring out this vulnerability that Tom mentioned, and you want to be honest, but also fair in your depictions?
Yeah, completely. Well, when you have a play to start out with, you're like, the first question is, how do I make this visual and captivating? Tom is wonderfully captivating, But when we move that to the screen, you have the possibility of adding the character of Nashville, a backdrop which means so much to Tom, so much to songwriting, and also so much, with his past. So when you combine the performative elements and the city and the visuals, you get something which is really interesting. And we decided to break the fourth wall. So Tom walks through Nashville presenting to camera, and I think that does something where it makes it more invasive, and it sort of opens up Tom's vulnerabilities in a very different way than if you were just to film it on stage. So I think combining all these elements together, it's sort of a hybrid of drama and documentary, which sort of does something a bit different, or we hope it does.
And I'm almost out of time, but Tom, my last question is for you. Tell me more about this companion album that's going to be released with this motion picture.
Monument Records is going to release a companion soundtrack on Thursday, February 24th. And it's really all the songs that are in the film. It's my most popular songs. And amazingly enough, Miranda Lambert, Tim McGraw, Lady Antebellum, Colin Ray, Chris Jansen, these wonderful artists come in and they sing with me on these on the songs. Miranda singing with me on The House That Built Me, and Tim is singing on Grown Men Don't Cry and My Little Girl, and Lady A on I Run to You. And it's really a very interesting combination that these generous artists would feature with me on the companion soundtrack.
I'm very excited about this film. Love Tom premieres Thursday, February 24th, exclusively on Paramount Plus. Thank you so much, Tom and Michael, for joining us today. Really appreciate your time. Very much looking forward to watching this film about going behind the brilliant songs that you've written and so much more. So thank you.
Thank you.